So this is our example 2 of our calculation on the on group frequency distribution using the assume mean method. So the question is that we have the max column and the frequencies column. So the max, we have 10 up to 50, and these are their frequencies. That we have 2, 5, 6, 4, and 3. And so, because of time factor, I've gone ahead to do the figures for the other side of the table, so we don't spend so much time on this particular one. So when you do that, now the equation is here, or formula is here. It says that mean f bar equal to a plus summation fg all on summation f, where our a is here. So how do we get our a from this given distribution? You can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, and 30 is a figure at the center of the distribution. And also, it happens to be the figure with the highest frequency anyway. 30 happens to be the mark with the highest frequency. So choosing 30 as our A just is normal because it has the highest frequency. At the same time, it's a figure that also lies at the center of our distribution. I explained to you that the assumed mean is always picked around the center of every distribution of every given set of data, as you saw from the illustration of the 7 boys. The 7 people went to be on the farm and they gave some money, and when they share all together, the mean was lying at the center of that given set of data. So going by this one, we come back to look at to find out our D. So when you do that, we have the first column, the x is 10. So we take 10 minus 30. So as I said, write the 30 at the top of the table. So you're going to say A is equal to 30. A is equal to 30. So it will be on your mind all the time. So you take the first figure A. So you're going to have 10 minus 30 to give us negative 20. Then we have 20 minus 30, negative 10. We have 30 minus 30, that is 0. We have 40 minus 30, that is 10. And we have 50 minus 30, that gives us 20. So, as I said, you can write these figures in this column without any problem. But if you want to illustrate how you came by those figures, you are welcome. So we have negative 20 here, negative 10 here, 0 here, 10 here, and then 20 here. When we do the multiplication, that is the F with the D, you get FD. Here we get negative 40, here we get negative 50, here we get 0, here we get 40, and here we get 60. Because we're going to have 2 times negative 20, negative 40, 5 times negative 10, negative 50, 6 times 0, that is 0, 4 times 10, that is 40, and 3 times 20, that is 60. So when we do that, we can now get our summation F and our summation FG. Summation FG. So summation F here will give us 20, and summation FD here will give us 10. That's 10. So now we have got summation F and summation FD. We can put these figures into our equation or the formula to get our mean determined. So F bar is going to give us, the A is 30, so we have 30 plus summation FD is 10. 10 divided by 20. And that is that. So when you do this evaluation, you're going to get 30 plus 0.5. It will give us 30.05. So the mean for this distribution using the assume mean method is 30.05. If you check again previously, I have done this example using the direct method to show you that when we are doing the mean calculation, it doesn't matter the formula we use or the method we use. If it is well done, if it is well carried out, we shall all arrive at the same answer. So in examination purposes, when the question is given to you, the question asks you to determine the mean. If it's open, you can decide which method to use. The direct method or assume mean method, you are welcome. If it's well done, get the same answer. But if the question specifies, say use the assume mean method, go by that. The question says use the direct method, go by that. But in case the question is open to you, then you can decide which of the method there is to your convenience. And when it's well carried out, you shall all arrive at the same answer. So this is example 2 of our concepts on the calculation of the mean of ungroup frequency distribution using the assumed mean method. Thank you. In our next session, we shall look at the mean of grouped frequency distribution. Group frequency distribution. And let me just spare 1 minute to explain to you the difference between the group frequency distribution and the group frequency distribution. The difference here is that when you look at this one, when the figures are given to you, because they are on group data, they come in single numbers. They come in single numbers. But when we have group distribution, they come in a range of numbers. So you have something like 10 to 20 as a range. In this case, I want to use 10 as the mark or 20 as the mark. So in this situation, we are called upon or we are required to determine the class midpoint. So remember, we have dealt with the concept of class midpoint. So in the next section, we will look at the group frequency distribution, we shall apply the concept of class midpoint, because the figures come in two, it's a range of two. So none of this can be used as the class, and then you find that they are middle, and that figure will become the figure that we are going to use for the calculation. The difference here is that this one comes in single, so you can just use that to do your calculation. But this one, they come in two, they come in range of numbers. So one in the range, you can't use the lower or the upper limits, but you must determine the class midpoint of each of this one. So when you get that figure, it will come back to the same thing as when you got one figure in the table like this, then the same, whatever happens is now going to be the same. So in our next session, we shall look at group frequency distribution, and here we'll look at 3 concepts: the direct method, assume mean method, and the coding method. In each of you, we're going to have 2 examples to illustrate so you can understand how it is done. And I also urge you that the examples that are given here are not in the handout, possibly, I don't know, but you can. So when you are doing this one, take the handout and look at what I've done inside there. So when you look at all the examples that I've done, and then what is on the video, it shall actually make your understanding of this concept very, very easy and very clear. Thank you, and shall go to the next session and look at that one too.